Hello, Myles speaking.
Hey Miles, Andrew from Henderson in Brisbane. How you going?
Hey, Andrew. Yeah, I've been good, man. Keeping busy. How about yourself?
Yeah, same old, mate. Doing good.
Good?
Alrighty, so we'll get straight into it. So for people that haven't heard of the band, introduce the band and tell me about the members.
Sure. Well, Reliqa, that's us. We're, I guess you could call us a progressive metal outfit. We're relatively young. I think we're all turning 21 this year, 20 and 21. Yeah, that's kind of, it's, progressive is sort of not really the label that we've always stuck to. We definitely didn't start out trying to be a prog band, but kind of as we've matured as musicians and kind of, stepped into our songwriting ability a bit more, it's just kind of become the natural path of progression for us. We've always kind of been interested in music that's sort of like pushing the boundaries a little bit, kind of doing something interesting. And yeah, as the years have gone by, it's just kind of become apparent that that's sort of what we're interested in doing. And it's really exciting actually, because it kind of, it removes sort of the limitations of, some of the songwriting structures that exist in the metal community, for sure. And it kind of, just opens up the field of kind of what's possible for us.
All right, cool. And where do the band's influences generate from? What are the origins that you look to?
That's another interesting one too, yeah, because something that's quite interesting about our dynamic is sort of how versatile and widespread each of our listening palettes are. We're all very, very different. We all started back in high school together, and so we sort of all shared a part in each other's musical journeys. We definitely kind of all started in the same place with metal. I personally got right into Disturbed, Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, Slipknot, that kind of thing, and Brandon and Shannon, the guitarist and drummer, also kind of shared a lot of that sentiment. But as we've matured, as I said, we've all sort of found our own little niche. I'm right into my own kind of theatrical prog metal jazz scene. Shannon loves his electronic music. Brandon's right into lots of foreign music, lots of K-pop and J-pop, and also the heavier side of that. And Monique's got her own, interesting blend of soulful jams, and she really loves Coldplay. And the cool thing about all of that is when we all get in the same room together and start bouncing ideas off each other, you can really kind of see, you can hear in the music how broadly we all listen. And it kind of, even if we kind of don't actually listen to all that much metal anymore, and there's kind of not that much crossover in terms of our heavy listening, we're still, it still really shines out in the music, which is, I think, really cool.
Awesome. And how does the writing process work within the band? Is it all of you in a room together, or is it bringing in individual ideas and then working on them together?
Yeah. Well, it's really actually different every single time. Our first EP, Afterlight, was sort of our very first exploration into kind of songwriting territory at all. And so it kind of started out Brandon, the guitarist, writing the kind of skeleton of a song, and I would write the skeleton of a song, and we'd all kind of, build them from the ground up. But the foundation kind of came from either me or from Brandon. And the same kind of carried over into our second EP, Eventide. But Mr. Magic, which is our latest single, we sort of kind of had to go back to the drawing board and kind of really wanted to expand how much collaboration we could really get in with each other. And so Mr. Magic started off with Brandon and Monique in a room, just, putting down ideas. And Mr. Magic took quite a while to piece together, really. which, may or may not be surprising, but there's quite a lot of, changes in that song and a bunch of different sections, kind of not really any repeats. And so, but I think it was a really positive thing that we did, because it sort of brought us all a lot closer together in the time between releasing Eventide and writing Mr. Magic, and kind of, it definitely brought us closer together, and I think it bodes well for our collaborative process moving forward. It's definitely something that we're looking to do more of.
Awesome. And with Mr. Magic, tell me about the story behind it and what the band hopes to project with the song.
Sure, yeah. Well, Mr. Magic, conceptually as well as kind of in the songwriting sense, has been a bit of a departure for us, because all the material before Mr. Magic was quite deep in, theatricality and concept, but Mr. Magic was kind of something a little more close to home. Definitely for Monique, sort of took to, the country was on fire at the time of writing Mr. Magic. Bushfires everywhere, and we were quite. It was a big thing the country went through, and Monique definitely kind of took to her own with the writing of that song. But it's sort of the cool thing about it is that it can be vaguely about that, but it's also really up to the listener to kind of take their own interpretation from it. It's a critique of power, a critique of the abuse of power, and we just really hope that it inspires something in our listeners, give them the same kind of feeling that we've got about this restless feeling, and it's a call to action, and however you want to point the finger, whether it's at yourself or at figureheads in the political system, it's really up to you.
Okay, and you were talking about your previous EP before. In between the previous EP and Mr. Magic, what are some of the highlights that stand out for you that you achieved as a band?
Wow, there are a bunch of amazing moments that I really keep close to home for me. One of them was definitely getting to share the stage with Seven Dust at the Metro Theatre. That was just a crazy thing that happened to us. Definitely the biggest thing that had ever happened to us up to that point. I remember in 2012 jamming out to Seven Dust's home album, discovering nu metal for the first time, and it was just a crazy, surreal experience to get to do that with them. That was really cool. We also made good friends with Roadhook that night, which was pretty awesome. And getting to play Big Sound Festival up in Brisbane last year was another crazy highlight. It was such an amazing, crazy week, full of, it's just an awesome community and an awesome opportunity.
Excellent. And you've released Mr. Magic. Is there plans for another EP by the end of the year or anything like that?
Can't say too much on that one. We definitely, it's definitely been an experience, as I'm sure it has been with every musical endeavor, adjusting to the isolation experience and kind of adapting to online collaboration. We are writing, I can tell you that much. We would love to have material out by the end of the year. And we don't have our sights set on a full release per se, not an EP, not an album. I don't think, don't get me wrong, we would love to do a full album sometime in the near future, but we're kind of gearing ourselves, we're reading between the lines and kind of gearing ourselves to the industry, which is really about the singles game at the moment. So we're just writing a bunch of songs, and we're going to see where that takes us, and we will definitely set our sights on an album sometime in the future for sure.
Okay, and what are you personally listening to at the moment?
What am I listening to at the moment? That's a great question. I've been getting right into piano lately. Just this morning I was listening to a experimental microtonal piano album, which I thought was really cool. Other than that, I'm really into my theatricality, concept prog metal, as I kind of mentioned earlier. Checking out Leprous' 2019 album, and yeah, bit of Disillusion as well. Would recommend.
Awesome, man. And finishing up today, any final words for the listeners out there?
We hope to see you on the road sometime very soon.
Perfect, mate. Well, I'll leave it at that today. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck with Mr. Magic.
Legendary. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, mate. Have a good day.